Good morning. It is time to wake up and be wealthy. Grab a cup of coffee, grab an IV of coffee. That's what I feel like today. I'm like, oh, I could use some more coffee after waking up a few times with the baby. But we are here. It is a great day to be alive, and we are going to talk about the most sexiest topic, which is how to let go of judgment from others when it comes to going after your big goals and dreams. This is something legitimately. I talk to women owned businesses like hours upon hours every single week. So I like get into their heads because they're so intimate with me. They share so many details, are so vulnerable, and like I can really see that we let we allow people to hold us back so much, and it's real. Like, and they're like, I don't want you to have shame around it because it is a real thing that so many women are facing of, I don't want to post too much on social media. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want my family to disown me. I don't want my friends to disown me. Like, all of these fears show up as judgment that you think people are having on you by going after your big goals and dreams, aka taking up more space, right? Like daring to dream bigger, daring to take up more space, being bold enough to speak up for what you believe in, right? That can be scary. And so I freaking love when I see it on social media because I know how hard that can be. And so, what is that secret sauce to like, if you're facing this right now and you're like, oh my gosh, that is crippling me. Like, I am playing so small because I don't want to take up too much space, right? And have people judge me, unfriend me, talk bad about me behind my back, right? All of these things, they're real. And so the first answer that I want to like say is just like, fuck them all, like go after your big goals and dreams. But that's not going to be helpful for you, because if that if it were that easy, you would already be taking up massive amounts of space. Okay. So we get to think about like, okay, what is the easiest first or next step? Because the more we can build evidence in your brain that you are safe, the more your brain is going to get on board and want to keep moving forward. So it's like, I love going for like that easy, quick next step. And so it may be as simple as sharing one time about your offer on social media and running away if you have to, like post about it and then run away, right? It also, like, you can bless and release people from social media. You're choosing to subscribe to people, and if they're holding you back, let them go, right? Like, they don't have to be in your world. It's really okay. I used to feel so guilty about this, because I just want to make everyone happy and I want everyone to like me, but that's literally not the world we live in. Even the most likable person on the planet, like let's even think about like The Rock, or I'm trying to think of like a really likable person like J Lo, like Oprah, like all of these like iconic people that are very likable and very pleasant. There's still people that don't like them, right? And so you're not going to be everyone's, I don't like to say cup of tea. Shot of tequila is more fun. Um, you're not going to be everyone's shot of tequila. Like, seriously, it's just not possible. And so when you can just start to remind yourself of that, it can be helpful. But again, go back to like, what's that next step that's easy, safe for you to do, but also does get you out of your comfort zone, because this is a slippery slope. We may be continuing to say, oh my gosh, I don't want, my friends to judge me or my family to judge me, or I don't want to post too much and people get annoyed with me, or anyone to think that I'm too salesy. I can guarantee you, if you're worried about being salesy, you will never be salesy. Okay. That word I hear so often from so many people. And I'm like, you're totally okay. If you're worried about being salesy, you're not going to be salesy. But we can tend to use these as an scapegoat for continuing to play small. Um, just last night, I was trying to tuck Emma into bed, and we did it like over and over and over. And I think that's probably like the hardest part of having two children. It's like I get one all settled, and then the other one is not settled, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want just a little bit of alone time, but she kept coming into my office because I was getting it nice and organized. And she's like, I just want to see your face. And I'm like, you are so cute. Like, of course I'm gonna like buy into that, right? Like that was so cute. Such a little mastermind already. But like it was an excuse, right? Like it was an scapegoat of like, oh my gosh, I just want to see your face. That's why I don't want to go back to my bed. And so I I encourage you to call your own self forward of like, okay, am I using this as an excuse? Like, is it truly holding me back? Like, am I that fearful? Like, and if you are, then we got to really dig into that. Like, there could be some deep wounds there. And I don't want to downplay that. Also, I want you to like recognize if there are some like excuses there of you're like, okay, like what would happen if I posted more on social media? Like, what if I did that for a day? Like maybe normally you post one day on one time a day on social media. What if you posted two or three like today and just took up a little bit more space? Because the people that love you are dying to see your stories. They're dying to see you on Facebook Live. They're dying to see you be goofy on Reels. They're dying to see like your thoughts, your opinions as a post, right? Like they are wanting more of you. And like let's just kind of like reframe this. You're holding them back from more joy, which is you. Right? Like when we start to really like reframe that and think about the other person, we're holding them back from so much joy because they get joy from you. And so we're putting so much of our energy into the people that don't feel that way. Perhaps also it could be like a made up story, but we're putting so much energy into those people rather than the people that freaking love you, the people that are saving up to spend money with you, the people that are getting curious about you, right? They want more of you. And so we really get to focus more on those people, right? No matter how many they are, let's focus on them, right? So that's like the first next step I want you to take. It's very practical of like, okay, let me like unpack all of this. Is it deep wounds of like fear of abandonment? That is a real thing. Is it, anything else that's like really, really deep? Because we've got to address that, or it's going to continue to keep you stuck and keep you feeling like you're not safe by taking up more space. And so I do want you to work through those things. And I don't want to downplay those at all. They're deep and they show up in very weird ways, not weird, odd ways, unusual ways, like posting more on social media, right? Taking up more space. So I do want you to address those. I also want you to look at, is there, am I making this to be something bigger than it really is, and making it be a big excuse when like really I don't want to get uncomfortable, right? Because I'm just afraid, right? Like if it's more surface level, then we can really like unpack that really quickly and then start to work through it. And start building evidence in your brain that you are safe, that it is exciting to take up more space, and that they want more of you. Like, uh, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but like they even want to like see what you're doing in your day. Like, it does matter and it builds relationships. And especially if you're in business in 2023, building relationships is key. We can't just be about our product, program, or service. We get to be more than that. I was driving the other day and I was like, I am so much more than my PayPal account. Like, I am so much more than that. Like, I can offer so much more than just like, hey, this is how much money I've made. Like, yes, that's great, but it's just really the beginning. Like, there's so much depth to what I can offer somebody. Um, and it feels really, really good to like own that. Um, I was even walking out of Target yesterday and uh, I just had this flashback of being with Emma 5 years ago, because we did a similar setup where it was like very light childcare in the beginning. And like, I like that because I just want to hold my baby. I want to be there for my baby. Not to say that other people can't take care of my baby, but it's bonding for both of us. And I remember I was so different back then. And that was just 5 years ago. I had long hair. I was very unsure of myself, very playing it safe. The e-learning empire was very new. I had big goals and dreams on my heart, but they were so fuzzy and I was very timid. And I've noticed so much growth over the last 5 years. And it's absolutely because I have more and more and more over those 5 years let go of judgment. So it didn't happen overnight. But what I have noticed with my own journey of this is, okay, can I post a little bit more on social media, right? Like, can I take up more space? Can I like be okay with cussing and being okay with people not always liking that? Like, legitimately, somebody has not purchased my my coaching because she said, "I don't like that you cuss." And quite honestly, like I really don't cuss that much. But it still bothered her, and I respected that. I'm like, "Cool. I'm glad that you're, like, staying in alignment with what feels good to you." And it's, like, truly being okay with that, right? Like, I've had to really work through, like, people either saying yes, jumping in, and then not paying, right? Like, that there's judgment there. There's fear of an abandonment there. Like, the more I've just let go of this not being about me and being excited to find the people that really want to be here and want to be a part of this journey for a long period of time, I've put more of my energy into that and it's healed everything else truly like organically. And then really like working through those abandonment wounds and anything else that has shown up and just like giving myself time and grace to like be okay with it still not feeling 100% safe, but having enough evidence that it's like, okay, this is uncomfortable. I know I'm working through some wounds, but I'm not going to let that stop me. And I think that just from my own experience, that has been what has worked for me. Of like, I know I'm not 100% there, but like I also don't want this stuff to win. I want to acknowledge that it's there, but keep moving forward, keep taking up more space, keeping more audacious, more daring, more authentically me over and over and over again, and being excited for people that want to like accept all of me. And here's the cool thing that I realized is the more authentically I am me, one, it's true freedom. Um, and I know it doesn't happen overnight, but like it truly is freedom on the other side. Two, people actually get to know you, and then, like, when they really like you, you know that they really like you. Like, some of my closest friends, I'm like, "I'm so glad I'm, like, totally me," because like, I don't have to pretend. It's exhausting to have to pretend anyways. And so, like, I truly know that they love me because I'm I don't hold back. I am 1000% me. And even in my coaching and mentoring, I am 1000% me. Imperfect, very audacious, very outspoken, very high energy. That is me to a core. Like, and so you know that on my social. So by the time you get into one of my containers or we become friends and or both, because that is very normal in my world, um, you know me inside and out. And so from a strategy standpoint, it actually works really, really well because it's not like they're getting this sticker shock of like, "Whoa, you did cuss on social, and now you're, like, dropping F-bombs and coaching containers and all of these other things." Like, I'm out, right? So, like, the energy would be out of alignment. And so when you can just be you across the board and be you more and more and more and more, not only is it like one of the best business strategies, but it's ultimate freedom. And I can truly say it's taken me about 5 years to like get to this point. And I'm sure there's still so much more growth. I'll never stop growing. I'll never stop working through trauma and wounds and fears. That's just a part of life. And so the coolest part is though, the more you do it, the more we build evidence and the more we build a belief system, a stronger belief system, right? Like that new identity like, that we talked about yesterday on the show. And it gets easier because you get stronger, right? Like I am not the timid me 5 years ago because I've built some strength over these last 5 years, just as much as if you were in the gym, all day, every day for 5 years, you're going to be like strong AF, right? And so we get to build that mental strength to really protect you and to strengthen you and have you go to the next level, like multiple next levels. So I just want to acknowledge you on this journey because like if I could just hug the five like the person that the me 5 years ago, I would just want to hug her and love on her. So depending on like where you're at in this journey of judgment, it's real and it most likely is holding you back. And so the more we can work through it, you will actually show up on social media more than you ever have before. And then guess what? You'll start to attract amazing humans that are like, I just freaking love you. Can I pay you? Like, what do you even have? Like, I can't tell you how many times people have come to me and they're like, I don't even know exactly what you sell, right? And this is throughout my whole journey. But I just want to be a part of your world. I want to be a part of your energy. And I'm like, cool, let's figure it out together, right? And like, I can honestly say, because I have put myself out there on social media, legitimately, I would say 95% of my business has come from social media. A teeny tiny percentage has come from like my past life or like a connection off of social media, but 9 times out of 10 it has been because I've put myself out there on social media and been authentically me more and more and more over time as I got more comfortable by being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense, my whole business. So like not only do I want you to do this for like internal freedom, but like this also is going to like financially explode you. Like it's a both and. It's internal freedom and healing and like you're just going to be seen by more people and also not just more people but the people that are already like connected to you in some way shape or form and like what I want is they're like who is she? Like, I want them to have like whiplash starting to look at you, right? And you are essentially like with your authenticity, that's such a big word for me. You are luring them in, if I could talk, with just by being you. Like your energy is bringing them in like a magnet, right? And the more we do it consistently over time, you are going to build a stronger confidence, more belief, right? More of everything, be organically healing by just doing the work, right? By showing up, by showing your brain that we're okay, we're safe, this is amazing, it's helping, all of those things. And over time, that consistency is going to like kick in and then it's going to really like help your business. And so this is just a really unique way to start thinking about like what can we do to like really go to the next level is showing up bigger, right? Taking up more space, being okay with people not liking you and not focusing on them, but focusing on the people that are just like wanting to be around you and be in your energy. And like, again, what we think expands, what we focus on expands. So the more we focus on the people that are liking and commenting your content, that want to be here, that are excited to learn more about you, that they're getting interested and curious, focus on them. That will create more of that energy and it'll just keep compounding and compounding and compounding and compounding over time. Keywords over time. This is not like you do this for a week and you're like, Nelly, it didn't work, right? This is a lifestyle, just like wealth or health, that our lifestyle shifts, this is no different. Okay. And as you're on this journey, when you feel something come up, that's an opportunity to heal. When we can feel, we can heal, right? So, like over the last 5 years, I've had people not pay me. I've had people unfriend me. I've had people talk about me. And I've had to deal with that. And I say deal in the best way possible of like healing. Like, okay, this is coming up, this doesn't feel good. I don't like this. Why don't I like this? Right. And it's being willing to do the work. It's being willing to be uncomfortable so that you can get more comfortable with everything. You more comfortable with you in your own skin, more comfortable in your bank account, more comfortable in your schedule so you have more time freedom. Like that's what I mean, right? And so I just am so excited for you because the more you can lean into this, everything changes. And I'll never stop talking about this stuff because eventually it's going to click for you and you're going to be like, okay, she's on to something. Like I literally told that to my inner circle the other day when I was doing some on the go coaching with them. And I said, I'm going to keep talking about this work and keep talking about this work and keep talking about this work because it works. Like it works, it works, it works over and over and over again. And the more you work it, the more it works. And the bigger you work it, the bigger like results that you get. Like it's mind blowing that it's that simple, but this stuff is hard. Like it doesn't always feel good, right? It can be scary to go on Facebook Live and you're like, oh my gosh, no one's gonna watch, no one's gonna like it. It's like it's literally gonna fall flat. Like, but again, let's change how you're showing up in the conversation. Okay. So I want to leave you with something practical. I'm going to coach you for a second if that's cool with you. So how do we do this? I want you to move into practical action today, like right now. So, what is that new edge that you have not been to, right? Like, if you almost think of like um, a cliff, right? And we're at like the edge. What is that edge where you're like, oh, I don't want to jump because literally I'm going to jump and fall, right? So, what is that new edge where you're like, okay, I haven't done a Facebook Live in a minute or ever, or I don't hang out in my stories, or I never share like my opinions about anything, or I'm not doing calls to action on my social media. Like, do people know that you have a business? And I guarantee you, like, we cannot talk about our business enough in unique ways for people to realize like, oh, I can spend money with her, right? So I want you to think of like what that new edge is that you haven't leaped over yet, or we haven't done it in a while, and that's what I want you to do today. Okay. And the goal is that we keep finding that new edge. It may be like 30 Facebook Lives for 30 days, or even like Monday through Friday. It may be I'm going to show up in my stories every single day with no makeup, right? Or I'm going to do a call to action for my business every single day, or I'm just going to share an opinion that I have every single day. And here's the cool part, it doesn't have to be every single day for it to work. But the goal with consistency is that we're doing it more than we're not doing it. And so often, especially if you are neurodivergent, we have like an all or nothing mindset of like, okay, if I can't do it for 30 days straight, then like the minute that I fail, I'm done, right? And so we get to work on that too. So much personal growth over here. But we get to work on that too because like my goal when I'm coaching people and even in my own work is not to be perfect, not to do it every single day, all day, but to do it more than I'm not doing it. Just as much as like health and fitness, if you ate more veggies and proteins more than you didn't, you're going to still get results. If you worked out more than you didn't work out, even if you didn't work out every single day, oh my gosh, you're still going to be strong. You're still going to burn fat. Like you're still going to get endorphins, right? And so when we can just remind our brain of that, of like, okay, progress is progress. I don't have to be perfect to be consistent. I just get to do it more than I don't do it. Like it's like really like coaching you up for your next best self. So again, shedding those old identities is so important, grieving those old identities. We've been like really talking about so much mindset work recently on the show, but it's so important. I could literally talk all day every day about this work because it's changed my life. And every person making more money than me has said the same exact thing. So eventually you'll realize, if you're being really stubborn with this work and you're like, yeah, Nelly, like you're cool, great, good. But eventually you're going to be like, okay, they're on to something, right? Because with the power of the internet, it has changed the game for women. It would be quite impossible for me to earn money without the internet, without social media specifically. I could still figure it out because I'm like, at the core of who I am a hustler. I don't love to hustle, but I am a hustler and I would always figure it out. And I know that about myself. I always find the way, I always figure it out. It's who I am. It's always how I've been. Um, and so the cool part though is I don't have to work so hard. Social media, the internet makes my life easier, and therefore I want to use it as the biggest blessing in my life, because it has helped me so much be able to connect with amazing women, not just earn money, but like connect with so many amazing women around the world. Like we've had people around the world that we've worked with. How freaking cool is that? Like I would have never met them if it weren't for the power of social media. So when we really start to look at this as the biggest blessing ever, the biggest opportunity ever, it's massive. And so anytime I get in my head and start to like, I call it turtling, where you like start to shrink, of like, oh my gosh, like there's no way we're going to hit the numbers that we need to hit, or, who do I think I am? Like we all have these thoughts, myself included. What helps me is, one, working through those thoughts and also reminding me like how many people, especially women, are there on the planet, right? Like it always, like everyone comes to us at the right time. Like I really do believe that. Like somebody literally a couple of days ago came in and she's like it felt like out of nowhere. She's like, I'm ready for Inner Circle. Send me the link. Let's go. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. And she's already in our containers. She's already off, like getting onboarded. And I'm in a one-on-one Telegram with her, like coaching her, asking her about her business. Like that one decision, that quick response that she had is now completely catapulting her to the next level. Like that's how cool this all can be. Like we're so connected. There's so much of opportunity available to us when we tap into it. So we get to be more comfortable with being seen and heard and taking up more space. So it's one step at a time. And anytime you have any feelings show up, good, bad, ugly, let's just recognize them and work through them and be curious. And I know that sounds like so easy, but when you start to neutralize everything, like I did a debt mini training last week, and we talked about like neutralizing our debt, and they're like, you don't know how much that like helped me. Like the less power we give our emotions, the better, and just neutralize them. And like, okay, that emotion's over here, this emotion's over here, and you're just kind of like looking at them, and you're like, they're all like sitting in chairs. It's like a committee. It's a committee of emotions. You're like, okay, anger, let's talk, right? All right, frustration, let's talk. Anxiety, hey, what's up? Like, what's going on? Are you gonna like take over the show today and like capitalize on all things going on today? Excitement, joy. I'm so glad that you're here because I need you, right? Like, it's so cool when you like really start to like, and you're probably laughing right now because literally I'm visualizing my whole office with chairs and all of these emotions in it. But like it's so real. And when we can start to just neutralize it and kind of like giggle about it, and it's like, okay, like you're human, you're supposed to feel emotions. Like anytime Emma feels something, like I celebrate it, even if she is kicking and screaming on the floor. Like I work through that with her, but I don't shame her for having that emotion as much as it's like triggering inside for me. I put my own emotions aside in that moment to like be, to help her emotionally regulate. It's not the easiest thing as a parent, but I'm working really, really hard because I know it's that important, because the more I can positively program her brain, the early on, the better. because so often, so many of us have been the opposite where it's like, shit, sit down, shut up. Don't like wipe away those tears. Like you shouldn't be crying. And then we wonder why, as an adult, when we're crying and we're wiping away our tears and we're like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And you're crying, like you're apologizing for crying, you're apologizing for having emotions. It's because of all of that trauma, all of that programming, all of that conditioning. Like, so like give yourself a freaking break that it's not gonna like happen overnight, right? Like stop beating yourself up. You've been through a lot. You've had some trauma, you've had probably quite a bit of programming and conditioning that has gotten you here, and you may have not even known it. So it's going to take you a minute, right? And so just the more those emotions show up, I just want you to neutralize them, be really curious about them, be excited actually, like, oh my gosh, I'm angry, yay, right? Like it's okay, because that anger is then going to go uh once you feel anger for a while, you can't stay angry forever. Okay. And then you'll be like, okay, I'm frustrated. And then we'll go to the next emotion of like, I'm sad. Right. And then eventually you're going to be like, okay, I've been working through this and I'm finally like at peace with it. Right. Like it still does make me sad, but I'm at peace with it. I'm going to bless and release it. And I'm going to move forward. So you'll go through the emotional wheel, the emotional ladder, if you will, over time. The coolest part, though, is the more you know these tools and the more you tap into them, you can move through them faster so they don't keep you paralyzed for weeks on end, months, or even years on end. So that is the cool part. Like you're going to be equipped with more tools the more you do this work. And so that when it does show up again, you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I know what I need to do. I know what I can do to move through this. And it's insanely valuable. So keep hanging out on the show for all things mindset, money, health, wealth, happiness. We just cover it all here. I have some amazing guests in the pipeline for you post maternity leave, which I'm super excited about. And we have some exciting ways to get involved in the Wealthy Queen movement, from our Build Your course, which is our $7 offer to help you build your first or next digital asset in 7 days. $7, 7 days just sounds good. And then we have our Moolah Club, which is our money making club. It is a growing, evolving container, but it has the turnkey trainings in it of exactly what to do to build your online business from somebody that has made over 7 figures in the online space, which is me. And then we have our inner circle, which is like where we go deep with you. Like all of this work that I'm talking about, we go deep and we have fun and we really work through things. And my goal with inner circle is to help them become a marketing genius, to be quite honest, and to master their sales so they can make the money, like mega money that they desire. And the doors for inner circle are actually going to be opening very, very soon. And the earlier that you sign up for the wait list, you'll actually be able to save some money, which is really exciting. And then from there, we've got so many other additional opportunities to join in on our like sponsorship. If you want to sponsor a woman, if you want to come to one of our events, we've got amazing events going on. There's just so much excitingness happening. Like I'm having a hard time keeping up myself. So if you feel that way too, it's totally okay. We've got a lot going on, but we're just excited. We're excited to support women. And we've just been getting everything in place, and we have an amazing team, a growing team. And it's just been exciting for me to see them be leaders and step up. That has always been my dream, which is why I never have named my business my name. I really want this to be a team effort, a collection of amazing women that are growing together, taking over the world. I'm able to share more wealth with them the more that we grow. Eventually, we're going to do wealthy wishes with our foundation to grant wishes to women. So like helping women build their websites and paying for it, helping women get this like healing work that they so deserve, but maybe they don't have the funds to do it. So like so much of that is coming very, very soon. The more we continue to grow on the for-profit side, the more we're going to be able to do the nonprofit side. So our goal is that 100% of the proceeds of the foundation are going to the wealthy wishes. And then we'll be granting education scholarships as well. So much good is happening. I've never seen anything quite like what we're creating. And it's really exciting to be unique and different and powerful. And I can honestly say, I wouldn't be able to hold the level of business that I have that I'm creating because, like, I'm taking this to $10 million. I wouldn't be able to do that and what's coming without doing the work that I'm talking about. And so I just hope and pray and believe that, like, it can change your life. And I'm excited for you when you feel like you're ready to do this, because you do have to be ready to do this work. But you can do it at your own pace. You can start small, but you deserve to take up more space. You deserve to be seen, heard, and supported, and to make all the money and more that you desire. So have an amazing day. I love you, and I'll see you back tomorrow on the show.